Today I will teach you how to create this really cool Ghost Rider in Photoshop. I will teach you the principles and techniques. I will show you how I did it, and then later you can use that knowledge to create something completely on your own. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun Photoshop photo manipulation tutorial. Today's topic is Ghost Rider, so without further ado, let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Right guys, we are here in Photoshop and this is the final image that we need to create today. I will teach you how to create something like this on your own. As you can see on the right side, we have a bunch of layers included in this file, so it seems like it's really complex and complicated, but actually it's not. It's pretty easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but I will now break down all the things how I created this Ghost Rider right here. First of all, I started with the background. So this is the background that I choose for this photo manipulation, and as you can see I have the model here and the background layers already dropped in the new file, and let me break you down how I did this. First of all, this is how the original background file looks. This is the photo that I downloaded from, I don't remember, Unsplash or Pexels.com or Pixabay.com, some of these sites. You can choose any background you want, you can choose any kind of street or whatever you want, it's up to you. I choose this one and change the colors into the orange with hue and saturation adjustment layers. I just move the slider right there, you can colorize however you want. And then I turn this into smart objects so I can apply smart filters as a Gaussian blur, for example. So filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I just blurred here the background because I want to be out of the focus. So this is my background. Then I took a photo of myself, as you can see right here. I just took this pose, nothing special, nothing fancy. I knew that I want to remove my head and put a skeleton head in instead of this. And I actually did that. I removed my head and everything was the same. Also, I removed the background, obviously. So to do that, it's pretty simple. When you have one color background, it's really easy to select everything else. And also I use another layer to reconstruct parts of the color here and to get something like this. I purposely didn't want to do this because this part all over to the end, because here I will put the skeleton head, so I don't need to waste time for something like this. So after that, I went and took a photo of the skeleton head. I have it here in studio, so it was easy for me to take any angle that I want, any position, lighting, etc. to match the model, to match myself, and then the blend would be much better than just to find something online and try to repaint the light. So it's always better if you can take your own photos, but again, you can just find some online stock photos, free stock photos, and try to match them together and make something on your own. So this is the skeleton head. As you can see, I extracted out of the background, and now I will copy it and just paste it right here. It's a little bit big, but let's make a big head Ghost Rider. No, I don't want that. So I will put it right there and make it smaller, Control Command T, and just make it something like, let's see, something like this probably, and I want to make it a little bit wider. So let's say that this is our skeleton head. Let's say that this is how I want it to be. Then I need to put it inside here, to put this color over the chin, over this bone here. So to do that, I will just select Control and click on the mask. Go right here. Actually, first I will rename this to head. Then I will create the layer mask. Then Control, click on the model layer mask. Go right here, and with the black brush, 100% opacity, just paint out here, and don't paint here, so just here, and deselect, Control or Command D, and this is it. Now I made this. Okay, and the next step, because this face expression does look so mean, so angry, I want to change that, so to make it similar like I have here. As you can see, it's much like more angrier guy, etc. So in order to do that, let's see, where is this head? This is fire, chain, eyes. Okay, this is a head. I will later put this one instead. Okay, so in order to do that, let me show you a really cool trick. I can go to filter and liquify, and here I can just reposition, reshape the face, the eyes, etc., whatever I want. So my liquify is on another screen currently, so let's bring it right here. Let's make it smaller. Okay, so this is this is it. And now I will move this right there, make it a little bit bigger. And now what I like to do, I will go with this forward warp tool and just do something like this, make it more angry guy. Okay, if you don't know how to use Liquify, I have a full tutorial on that topic on link right there, so check it out or search on my YouTube channel just for Liquify. And this is something cool, so you can make however face you want. Also, I will go with this tool and make the eyes a little bit smaller, just a little bit, because I made it bigger by moving this up. And let's say that I'm pretty happy with this. I will press OK, and you can see it's much better. This is before like, and this is like, I'm angry, I'm angry. I'm a cute guy, I'm angry. So, okay, let's stay with this. And instead of this head, I already have the proper head, so I will just use this one, the first one. So let me see. Yeah, this is my first one that I made. Oops, I don't want to do that. So this one needs to be somewhere here. Let's delete this. And this looks pretty cool. Okay, now that we have this, we need to make a few other changes on the head. So first I want to make these eye holes a little bit darker, and for that I can use curves adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the head, make everything darker like this, and invert it, Control or Command I, and just use a brush. I want really soft brush like this. And actually I want this with the soft round pressure opacity, so I don't need to change the opacity here. I can control it with my pen pressure. So if you have tablet with a pen with pressure sensitivity, that's awesome. You can do that. If you don't have it, you can just play with these settings right there. So I want to make this forehead a little bit darker. Here I want to do like this to change the expression even more, to make him even more mean and angry, just like this. Also I want to make this darker, this part darker, and this part darker. And guys, I don't want to do this slowly, and I don't want to take too much of your time for this tutorial. I already did the photo, you saw it. Now I just want to show you what I did and how I did it. So this will not be as good as I made the first version. So something like this, it's pretty cool. You will see later, this will really nice, be a really nice fit to the rest of the image. And now the idea is to make that chain that Ghost Rider has. So in order to create that chain, I use Cinema 4D and just model the chain. It's really simple to do it if you know how to use 3D tools. I will not show you here that because I don't want to show you 3D tutorials. I'm still in the learning process. I already explained so many times, but I want to address one question. I got a question recently. One of you guys asked me, do I need to know Cinema 4D in order to create photo manipulations? Absolutely no. Just knowing another tool will make your life a little bit easier, because you will have more possibilities to create something even more than just with the photos. In a 3D world, you can create anything that you can imagine. So in order to create, to use the chain, to put the chain in the photo, I either need to find some kind of a chain online and manipulate it and put it here, or I can make my own chain however I want, the shape of the chain however I want, the position and everything in a 3D. So this is what I did. I created this chain, as you can see right here. I created in Cinema 4D however I wanted. I lighten it however I need it for this photo, and now I will just paste it right here. The chain is much bigger than I needed, so it will be something like this. So I need this in this hand and also in this hand, and I think this is pretty cool. And let me see, this is okay, but here we need to move it right there. Also, we will fix this. I will show you how we can really easily move this part of the chain to fit the fist really nicely. Okay, so let's say that this is pretty okay. Name this chain. And now in order to manipulate the chain, I will use Edit Puppet Warp tool. This is an amazing tool, and now by default settings with 2 pixels, if I go right there and click here wherever I want to position to fix the chain, you can see we have some crazy artifacts here. We missed parts of the chain on a lot of places, and that's because we have expansion only 2 pixels. Let's put 20 pixels, and now we have everything really nicely. And now let's just put a few more anchor points. If you don't know how to use this tool, again, I have a tutorial on that, fully explained. You can check it on the link right there. But here it's really simple and straightforward. I will just move these parts, these anchor points, and I will position it right there, press enter, and that's it. Now what we need to do is to position some parts of the chain behind the model, some parts in the front of the model, and that's really easy to do. Let's create a layer mask. Go right here, control click on the model to load this, and to load head. So I'm holding control shift and just loading separate selections, and this looks pretty cool. And now I will use brush, black brush, as you can see right here, 100% opacity. I can use hard brush, it doesn't matter, 100%, okay, like that. And I will just remove parts that I want to be behind the model. So I want these parts of the chains be behind it, the model. This can be in the front, but here I want this to be, to make impression that he's actually holding it. So this, let's remove all of that right there, and let's see here. Let's make it like that, and this part should be behind the model, and also here I want to go and remove this. I should probably make a chain a little bit smaller, but for this example it's pretty okay. You got a point, you just need to understand what I'm doing, and then when you are in this kind of situation you can do whatever you want by knowing the proper tools and methods. Okay, so we have the chain behind him. The chain is lit right there with a bright orange light, and as it's go further away from the head it's less and less light, because I want to make his head on fire, so that fire will make that light around the chain, etc. So that's something that we will do shortly. But for now, let's just double check. I think it's pretty okay. I really like it. And now let's do the fire thing. For the fire, I will not do everything step by step here because it's a little bit time consuming, but I will explain you. It's really simple and easy to do it. For the fire, you just need to find photos on the fire on a black background. There's so many cool photos on pexels.com, pixabay.com, unsplash.com. So go there, search for the fire, and just download the fire. And after that, let me show you. It's here on another screen. I have these photos of fire that I downloaded, and the idea here is to just go with some of the photos. For example, this one, put it right there, make it smaller, put it in the screen blending mode, and if you see some outlines right there, like we can see here, we just need to go with the levels, Control or Command L, and just boost the blacks a little bit until these lines fade away. And this is it. Now we can just position this and make it smaller, bigger, however we want. And the idea is to use a lot of different images and just put it in a screen blending mode, position it however you want, move it. You can use layer mask and maybe remove from parts of the head where you don't want to be fire, or just slightly remove it with lower opacity, maybe something like this. And like that you can build the effect. So let's use this one. So we can use this one and place it on the chest right here. Let me show you the idea behind this. Like that, put it in a screen blending mode and put the layer mask. I'm holding Alt and clicking, or Option on Mac, clicking on layer mask to have a black layer mask. And now I can just go right here and with some 50% opacity brush, I can just reveal the parts of the fire that I want to be visible here. And then I can use my smoke cloud dust brush just to have a different shape of the fire layer here, like the fire is going over it. And this is how I made the fire here on this part. Also, you can put fire on the color here behind the head. If you want to put the fire behind the head, you have different options. Let me show you really quickly. So for example, I know, let's go with this one. Okay, just for example, doesn't matter. So if you want to put the fire behind the head, there are two options. You can put it in a screen blending mode and just go behind the head. So this is it. And now you're behind. Or you can put it in the front right there. But then you can load the head as a selection and click on layer mask and invert, Control or Command I, invert the layer mask, unlink the chain icon here and then move it and it's behind head. So there are two ways how you can do that. It's completely up to you. Use whichever you feel better in the situation you are. Okay, now that you know how to do it, you just need to populate the fire as many files as you want to create really cool effect. I will just go and use the fire that I already have right here. So I will go like this, and let me show you really quickly. This is my fire. I will delete all of these, and what's that? This is the chain. Okay, and this is how my fire looks. I did exactly the same things, except I just blurred it a little bit. I will show you how I blur it. I use the path blur in a blur gallery. I will show you in a moment, but this is without that. And if I go in this fire group, actually I turn it into smart object, you will see that I have a bunch of layers right there. And there are a lot of layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I use these two as a fire glow, and this is how it looks. All of them are in a screen blending mode, and we can see the black because we don't have a background. Because it's transparent background, we can see that black. But I just put the fire layers one over the top of another and got this really cool effect. Okay, so now that you know how to do it, you can just play with it, invest a lot of time by tweaking the fire and placing in the proper positions and remove it some of the portion of the fire that you don't want to be visible. Now what I want to show, it's really cool technique how to make this chain like it's moving, how to add that motion blur, but the motion blur in the path of the chain, how the chain is going. Because otherwise, if you just go here and say, okay, I want to move my chain, I want to go to blur, then motion blur, with this you can just go with one direction, and this is not cool because here we want this direction, here we want this kind of direction, and I don't like this. So I will show you how you can really easily create any kind of trail, any kind of path blur that you can you can imagine or you need for your project. So how to do that? Okay, so I will first right click and convert this into smart object just to be able to go back and forth the blur filter if I need to change something. Then I will go to filter, blur gallery, and then path blur. So this is it. And here we have the starting position and the ending position. And I just want to put the ending position right here where the end is, and the starting position right here where the start of the chain is. It's somewhere here, but it doesn't matter. Now I will make in between points and follow the chain shape. But also I want to reduce speed here. Let's leave it for now like this. So I will go with one point right there. Then another point right here. Let's see. This is similar like pen tool. You're just creating these paths here. Let's see. Okay, like this. And this is going. Just reduce the speed. This one is going up and then down. Okay, so this one is going up and then down. So it doesn't need to be like 100% perfect, but it should be really cool. Okay, so then we need to go here, then we need to go right there, as you can see, and here, and a few more clicks and we are done. So right there, like, oops, I don't want to create a new one because you can create few. I just want to go with one, and this is it. Okay, let's say that we did really decent job right here. And now it's a mess, it's a big mess, but we will fix it by lowering the speed. Okay, because now it's too blurry. So this is really nice. Let's say 16% or maybe, I don't know, 14%. And let's press OK. Now you will see in a moment. You can see now that we have the blur as we need it. We have some mess here, but don't worry about that. And we have the blur in exactly the needed direction as the chain is moving. So I don't want to have blur in whole portion of the chain. I will create a black layer. Actually, I will go right here, invert the layer mask, Control or Command I, like this, and I will apply the blur only on some places, certain places with, let's go with this, only where I want this blur to be. And I want the blur to be on the places where the chain is fastest. So, for example, here, I want to assume that this is much faster. This part is moving much faster than, for example, this part right there. Also, maybe a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. Okay, because I'm using the brush with pressure sensitivity, I'm applying less intensity of the blur here, more here, etc. But you can achieve the same effect by lowering the opacity right here and then just changing the opacity where you're applying the blur. Okay, so this is really cool way to create something like this. And let me show you before and after. Check this part. Before and after. It's really, really cool. Also, we can apply it a little bit here. Not so much, but okay, like that. And this is the idea behind that motion blur. It's a really cool technique if you need to create different different path of blur, so you can do filter, blur gallery, and then pad blur. This is really, really cool. Okay, the next step is to make those eyes. So as you can see right here, I have really cool eyes and it's really easy to create it. Let me show you. I will go right here over the head and let's say this is eyes. Okay, and for this, I will use this photo of a flame. So some round shape flame like that. Put it in the screen blending mode as all other flame photos. Okay, and I will make it smaller like that. Maybe even more. Let's see. Yeah, maybe just a little bit more like that. And now what I like to do, I want to use the smudge tool. So it's right here, smudge tool, and this is now a smart object and I cannot use it on a smart object. I'll right click and say rasterize layer. And now I will just go and smudge it because I want to be a little bit blurred and also I want to change the shape of it. Okay, this eye can be like this and then I will copy it, Control or Command J and move it right there. And this one can be maybe a little bit different, just not exactly the same. Oops. Where is it? It's here. So something like this, and then I will create a new layer, name it glow, without E, and then I will put it in the linear dodge blending mode, go here, choose a red color, dark red color, like that, and I will use really soft brush, maybe 20% opacity, and this is it, and I will just paint around this fire layers, okay, like that, and maybe even more here around it. And this looks pretty cool, as you can see. Also, I want to create a new layer below everything, so I'm holding Control and then or Command on the Mac and then click and to create new layer. This is black part of the eyes because I want to make inside of the eyes darker, so even more. We made it already with curves, but I want even more. And this is it. This looks pretty nice and pretty cool. You can change the shape of the pupils. You can change the shape of that fire part. You can do whatever you want and be creative. You don't need to do exactly like I did it right here because I didn't do exactly here like I did it here. It's different a little bit. But now what you can do, as I did here, you can go and create another glow layer. Okay. Glow number 2 and put it into linear dodge blending mode and go with some kind of orange, but a little bit darker orange, and just create some kind of a glow here from the fire. So you can do that, you can invest time and just add a little bit more glow, maybe here on the teeth, you know, everywhere where the fire should affect the skull, you can add that kind of a glow. You got a point. So also here on the color of the coat, and I don't want to do it now, but you got a point. So you can just paint wherever you think the glow is needed, and this is how easily you can create this really cool character. Then what I did to make it even more fun is I added the fire and the smoke at the background. So for that I did exactly the same thing like the fire right there, but I just added down below. Let me show you right here. Where is it? The background, the fire. Okay, so this is the fire. Yeah, I need to go right there. Okay, so this is the fire, and I have several layers, a lot of layers of the fire right there. And what I did, I just positioned them one over the top of another, put it in a screen blending mode, and I apply on every single of them a Gaussian blur just to make it, let me show here, just to make it out of the focus, as you can see. Otherwise it will be right near the model. Maybe this is cool. Now I see that maybe this kind of effect to add even more fire in the front plane can be cool. Maybe I will change my final image. This is really nice. I will put it on Instagram if I decided to change the fire, the blur of the fire, the depth of field. And this is how I created this kind of effect. So let me see. Yeah, and added the smoke. For the smoke, let me show you. I will just create it really quickly here. So let's go right there, name this smoke. For the smoke, I use my custom-made smoke cloud dust brush that I really love to use it in so many situations. If you're following this channel for a while, you know that. So I use this, and you can create your own smoke brushes by following my tutorial right there, or you can just purchase this set of my own brushes on my website for just $1. It's your choice. The link is down there in the description. Okay, so I just painted the smoke right here, as you can see. And then I use black color and colorize something into that. Maybe I want a little bit more of I don't know, brownish color, just to blend it a little bit better. But this is the point. And then I blur the smoke, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and lower the opacity just to blend it there. And I got something like this. I made the smoke much bigger, as you can see, it's all the way there, and created this really cool effect. And this is it. This is the final result. It's really simple and easy. What you can do at the end is to merge everything into one layer. Go to filter, go to camera filter. I really love to use camera filter for a final color grading, and it's again on another screen. Don't worry, I will fix it really fast for you. Okay, it's right here, and here you can boost the contrast, boost the clarity a little bit. You can go, what I like to do here is to play with orange colors, so to go more towards the reds like this. And also we can go and add even more vignetting. We can go here in the color grading tab and go with the midtones and change the midtones a little bit to add even more, as you can see, that orangey saturation. But for the shadows, I love bluish type of shadows, so a little bit, not like this, but this is cool effect too. If you want, you can emphasize it however you want, but I just want to make subtle change, something like this. And this is before and after. It's not a drastic change, but it's there. I really like it. Also, you can sharpen it a little bit, lower the texture, and also you can sharpen it a little bit. And let's see, I don't want to sharpen the background, so I just want like that. And this is it. I will press OK, and this is my final version for this tutorial. So this is before color grading, after, just a subtle change, not too huge, but it's there. Alright guys, so this is it. This is how you can really easily create a Ghost Rider character in Photoshop. It's a time consuming, as I already said, because I didn't went through all the steps, step by step, doing this, because it took me around 2 hours to create this character, so I don't want to waste 2 hours of your time watching me step by step. Rather, I want you to see how I did it, to see the techniques and the methods behind this, the idea of creating it, and then to invest all that time on your own by practicing, because practice will make your work perfect. So I always like to tell you guys, just practice, experiment, and have fun, and you will be really, really good in photo manipulation world. That's it. If you have any kind of questions regarding to this episode, please leave me down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer it. Also, guys, if you want to learn more about photo manipulations, I have a full course dedicated to photo manipulation. It's called Photo Manipulation Essentials. So everything from beginning to the end of creating photo manipulation, how to get idea, how to make sketches, how to create shadows, what are the shadow lights, and how to blend all together perfectly, etc. You can check that again on the link down there in the description too. Alright guys, have fun experimenting and see you in my next fun episode. Bye bye.